Alrighty, let's look at the camera here. Okay, camera is on. Now, Siri, where's Siri? You still there, Siri? I see, I can't see you at all. Invite people. Okay, send. Are you able to actually send invitation? I am sending you a specific invite right now, so that's been posted to you. So let's just check that out. Check your email and just click the link to invite yourself to this particular one. No worries. Go to the most recent one because it's calling me. Oh, yeah. I can see that you've come in now. That's great. Oh, yeah, good. Okay, I can see you now as well. Now I'm hoping that this is recording both of us as equal in the screen. So anyway, present to everyone. Yeah, great. So can you talk now?
Yes, I can.
Oh, great. Excellent. Well, I think we've actually got the show on the road.
Okay, let's see how it goes when we talk. There's like an echo. Is there an echo when I talk to you?
A little bit, but it's not too bad.
Okay. Not considering you're in Australia and I'm in Big Bear.
I think as well because maybe you've got two Google Hangouts open now. So maybe disconnect off the other tabs and that should then allow you just into this one, I think.
Yeah?
Cool. Yeah, I think that's better now.
A little bit better.
Awesome. Well, we'll give this a go. Hi everybody, Vanessa Bartlett here, and I've got with me Siri Galliano, my lovely new friend, all the way from the USA. I'm in Sydney, she's in America. How cool is this that we can Skype together or Google Hangout or whatever we're doing?
Hello, Australia and everybody from Big Bear, California.
Now, Siri, you are a master Pilates instructor, which is why I'm so excited to have you on one of my episodes today. Tell me about your history of Pilates and how you got into the industry and how long you've been doing this for and what you've been up to in this industry.
Okay, well, I started practicing Pilates in 1981 in Beverly Hills. I was a yoga therapist at the time. It totally changed my body, and I wanted to start teaching Pilates to my yoga students. There was no certification or training program. You just learned how to teach and started teaching. So because I was in Beverly Hills, I was involved with a lot of the movie stars, and I started working on a lot of location movies, taking equipment with me to transform people's bodies. I met my teacher, Romana Krasnowski, in 1989. She was 69 in those days. Yeah. And I started studying Joe's original work with Romana. So I got certified with Romana in 1994. That was, 26 years ago.
Yeah, wow.
Ever since then, I've been teaching all classical work. I have buy and sell a lot of equipment, so I know a lot about the different brands of equipment because Joe Pilates invented his method and his equipment at the same time. They go together. And I've been to the Isle of Man where Joe Pilates was in prison, where he invented this work to understand what is the mentality behind the work. So besides just creating a long, beautiful body, what is the mind part of the mind-body workout?
Yeah, and that's what sets it apart, isn't it? It's this mindset shift and being able to connect the mind and body. What does that actually mean to you?
Well, it means different things. Because I am a yoga teacher, my background's in Kundalini Yoga. I'm also a certified Hatha Yoga therapist. And a Pilates teacher, there are two very different methods what you do with the mind. You can look at a body and it can be in a position. That position can be a yoga position, a Pilates position, and a gymnastics position. Same position. The difference is what is the mind focusing on? In yoga, the mind is focusing on meditation, the infinite, uniting the small being with the larger being and getting ready to have nirvana. In Pilates, the purpose of the mind is concentration to develop your willpower. Both methods, through the education of the body, develop the willpower.
Yeah.
The mind is on two different things. In yoga, you're thinking of God. In Pilates, you're thinking of your butt.
Right. And so what is it then, what do you notice to be the best benefits that people can gain from Pilates? Even with myself, I actually went into it coming from a fitness background and experiencing adrenal fatigue. So I had to look at other methods like yoga and Pilates to actually keep my muscles strong and shapely without the exhaustion. So for me, that was a massive benefit. But what, in your opinion, what are the best benefits people can actually receive from doing Pilates and such a focused mind-body discipline?
Well, when we meet people in the United States in their 80s and 90s, and they studied with Joe Pilates, and they still do the method. So to me, one of the most important things is this is not the latest fad. It's been around for 100 years. But it's actually learning something for you to do that you can do at home or you can do in bed so that when you're stiff or you've hurt yourself, you can help yourself. I think people don't have a habit of working out. And if they do work out, it's like CrossFit or it's spinning. It's something outdoors, something you need a partner for, equipment for, good weather for. And Pilates, that's not true. I think one of the things that distinguishes Pilates right now from other methods of exercise is it is indoors, and we see that it's taken off in places like Korea and Japan, places where Russia, where population is a big factor. They don't have the beaches and the mountains and the deserts we have.
Yeah.
Civilization is a big matter. They're indoors most of the time. And so it has become a method for civilization that can be done indoors, as well as learning techniques beyond the equipment to do for the rest of your life.
Yeah, for sure. And that's great. And the great thing is too, so many people can do it from home. You know, people are busy running around these days. You can do it from home. You don't need equipment. You can use the equipment. And actually, that's a good point to mention. Can you explain the difference between you getting trained in a studio with equipment like you've got in your background compared to using a mat and doing the traditional mat work?
Yes, it's a very important difference. A lot of people, when have problems, they have knee problems, ankle problems, foot problems, shoulder problems, they can't get down on the floor. So originally the trap table, what they call the Cadillac now, was massage table height so the person could be right underneath your fingertips and not have to be able to go all the way down on the floor, so they could do the mat up high. Yeah. The other thing is that a lot of people don't have muscles or they're recovering from surgeries or injuries.
Yeah.
And you can't do a roll up. You don't have abdominal muscles, so the springs help you to do the exercises.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's more of a, yeah, to break that barrier, I suppose, between if you can't do something at all, well, at least you can get on the machine and it's up a little bit higher and the machine will support your body in those movement patterns.
Correct. We don't call it a machine because a machine has like a motor and does something for you. We call it an apparatus because Joe Pilates patented it as a gymnastic apparatus, and you make it move. So you can have someone who's got, Parkinson's, and they can get on the equipment, and it can help them. You can also take an athlete and put them on the equipment. And there's all different kinds of equipment for different things. And this just showed before there was physical therapy, before there were gyms, how this genius of a man invented all this.
Absolutely, and that's a good distinction too. I think, you have a machine in your mind. There's gym machines, all these machines, walking machines. But yeah, Pilates is apparatus and it's assisting you. It doesn't do it for you, so to speak. Like a treadmill will carry you, but the Pilates equipment will assist you, but you're controlling it essentially.
Correct. You're controlling your body, and you can get the feedback. And the equipment is very smart. Joe Pilates was German, so there's no yoga in the work. There's no Hinduism in the work. There's no namaste in the work. It was very German. So if you think of the Mercedes-Benz, a Porsche, you think of BMW, very highly engineered equipment is the same sort of efficiency that has gone into his inventions. For instance, everybody now has a big plastic ball, and they're lying over the ball and saying, this is a Pilates ball. But he never invented a rubber ball. His barrels were meant to support your back. Those balls, you can fall off and hurt yourself, and you need to control to stay on the ball, whereas on the barrels, you can just go into total passive extension. So Pilates work is meant specifically on Pilates apparatus. Sure,
that's understandable. That makes a lot of sense. I'd love your just a little brief overview of Joseph Pilates himself. So, because there's so many different stories about what he actually did or how he came to create the method. The versions of the story that I've heard is that he was imprisoned and he started to develop exercises to help the inmates and help soldiers rehabilitate through the war. What's your take on a little bit of the history there?
Well, having been to the Isle of Man where he was in prison, and having been to National Archives at Kew and read all the records about the war, I'm pretty clear on what is myth and what is fact. And if you listen to the sentences, like for instance, you said he worked with soldiers in prison. He was in prison with civilians, German civilians who were interred. There were 27,000 Germans interred on the Isle of Man for 5 years during the war. And those men went through depression, bad weather, bad food, and whoever the prisons were not run by the British were run by the German prisoners inside after they were fed and counted. So if you were a tailor, you made clothes. If you were a baker, you baked food. Joe Pilates was a gymnast. He was in the circus. He was traveling with the circus in the summer of 1914 when the war broke out, and they put everybody into prison so they wouldn't go back to Germany to join the army. So the men he worked with during the war were only Germans, Austrians, and Turks he was in prison with. After the war, back in Germany, when he was there for a few years, that's when he started, first time we started seeing, it was the First World War, we started seeing soldiers with just one leg. And Joe actually, in his patent for the Universal Reformer, says, this is both for a very healthy body and for someone who just has one limb. So the inventions came around with the advent of World War I. Then he came to America with the polio epidemic, and then again with World War II. So he has the same parallel paths as physical therapy and Pilates. At the time, there was no physical therapy until after World War I. His work was considered physical therapy at that time.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's really interesting actually, and I mean, how creative was he to seriously come up with all these exercises? You know, suffering, I know, illnesses as a child as well. I think it's just so amazing, and it's, you know, been around for so long now.
You have to really look at that. You have to say what is a myth and what is fact. So as a journalist in first person, we have Joe Pilates left books, magazines, interviews, photographs, films, drawings. In many, many interviews, Joe Pilates said, "I was never sick a day in my life."
Interesting. Wonder where that starts from then, because there's so much myth out there. Where does this start?
Much myth. And when you start questioning the myth, then you will also question everything else you've heard about Joe Pilates. So he says he was never sick a day in his life. He said that many, many times. However, his mother did die, and his brother and sister died when he was 17. So we see that he came from a time in history when there was disease and you got sick and you died. So this reinforced him to always be healthy and to help people to be healthy.
Yeah, that's great. And today more than ever, it's so important that we're on top of our health with and he, you know, wrote this in his book, over 100 years ago, about technology and the phones interrupting our energy flow and disrupting our posture. Well, all that's so prevalent today. Like, it's so, you know, relevant today. He really was ahead of his time, wasn't he?
Yes, it was actually 80 years ago he wrote, and he was talking in many articles, like in Reader's Digest in 1934 and in Return to Life. He was talking about the stress of modern day. And he was talking about, remember, he was born in 1883, so he was born in the 19th century at the end of the Industrial Revolution, when everybody in the country was moving to the city. So he's talking about the stress of the cities, the stress of sitting at a desk, the stress of the trolley, the stress of unhealthy air, the noise. And he was talking about the stress of modern times, and the stress he was talking about was in the 30s. Now you amplify that with
exactly
the stress we have today with the internet and with traveling. And stress is the #1 problem. And it's not really the body that's the problem, it's the mind.
That's right. That's right. So, yes, it's so, yeah, really relevant more than ever, actually, to get onto that. What do you believe is the thing that sets this apart in terms of getting clarity and stress relief in the mind to other exercise disciplines? Why is it so powerful to do a workout like this on a mat or on one of the reformers that actually clears the mind? What do you think it is?
Well, I think that as part of the work, you're supposed to concentrate. So the first thing is you take the mind off of itself. Theoretically, this is not supposed to be jumping around with loud music. You know, theoretically, there's no music. It would be like going to a gymnastics class. And you have to concentrate on the trick. You know, there's a lot of tricks in Pilates. I mean, there's your basics and there's the tricks. So with so much out of our control, the fact that you can control whether your shoulders are up or whether your stomach is in or whether your neck is long, we start to go, you can get immediate control over your body. Your mind is focused on itself rather than on just what happened or what's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the biggest things that people say in, you know, mindfulness training and how to relieve stress in modern day living. It's all about being mindful and present. So the presence is the key, isn't it?
Presence is the key. And again, that is very different than yoga, because in yoga, each breath you're trying to connect with the universal force. In Pilates, you are that force. There is no force outside of yourself.
Yep. So connection to self. Beautiful. I think that's why it works for so many people. Now, I would love to get into a mini workout with you. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
You know, something like yoga, which is Hindu-based, can interfere with a lot of belief systems. You know, for instance, some of the Christians don't believe in the Hindu exercise system, whereas this is just exercise, mindful exercise. So it can go into another realm of not being in conflict with your belief system.
Yeah, and that's an important
today it is, yeah.
A distinction actually today. Yeah, no, thanks for sharing that as well. Well, I am just super excited to get into a little bit of a workout. Now, what have you got for me in terms of Matt? Let's say we've got 10 minutes here. What's something that people can do to get into a nice little introductory Pilates workout and start to get familiar with the movements and the technique?
I have a quick question for you. Is it possible you can go against the wall and stand against that brown frame there?
Yeah, I think so. Now, am I still going to be, yes? So how about I move this and I stand against the wall?
Go against the wall. There you go. I think the quickest way for someone to change their bodies is to change their posture. And when you go against a wall, so I'm giving you an exercise we might do in the studio with a pedipole or something, but you don't have it. When you go against the wall, so feel your head back on the wall, feel your shoulders on the wall, bring your feet together. Yeah. Bring your feet away from the wall about 2 inches, and then pull your stomach into your back so you feel your back pressed against the wall. So the first thing I see is the beautiful neck being really long, and now you have perfect posture. So the first thing is perfect posture. Go using the wall as your apparatus. Yeah. Now from there, just bring your arms up over your head. Take straight arms. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale, roll your arms down, roll your head off the wall, and roll all the way down. Just let the weight of your head draw you down in a round fashion, all the way down.
That feels good.
Now pull your stomach in and roll up. As you roll up, feel your back on the wall by pressing your stomach into your back. Bring your head back. Just stop there. Now just now roll forward again. Just you let your head roll forward. Feel the weight of your head come down. So the purpose of the abdominals is to bring the trunk and the legs together. But there you're also feeling the stretch in your legs and your back, right?
That's right.
Now roll up. We're going to do just 3 of these. One more time. Just roll down. Use the weight of your head to roll you down and stretching your back. You're using your stomach because it's contracting. Yeah. And then roll up. Pull your stomach into your back.
Nice.
Stay on the wall with your head on the wall, and now step away from the wall, but pretend you're still on the wall. Okay, that's lesson number 1 in just posture and stretching your back and your legs. That everybody can do. I give it to everybody. I do it in airports and post offices. Now you can lie down.
It's the best. Yeah, I feel taller, even though I do this often and teach my clients. What happens when we get stuck on computers? We go forward again.
So we have a whole wall workout that we do. Just when people are in business, Romana, my teacher, would give it to people who are in business suits. In the middle of the day, you stretch your back and you stretch your legs. Because again, only healthy bodies can come down to the floor. Hip, knee, and back problems can't go down to the floor. So
that's right.
that one, any bad knee, any bad hip, and bad backs, unless it's a disc, can do. Okay, so now I want you to just sit sideways facing the camera with bent knees. I'll go through a few exercises that are my favorites.
Yeah, great.
Pull your stomach in, lean back, and put your hands underneath your knees. And lift your knees up.
Off the floor?
Keep them bent and lift them up. Pull your stomach in. So the most common position done, that's besides the hundreds, that's known in Pilates, is called the teaser. Yeah. And the teaser is this V position. But what you're doing now with bent knees, the abdominals bring the trunk and the legs together. Yeah. So you're contracting your abdominals, and you don't need your neck involved. You don't need your discs involved. So now just lower your legs down again. Lower them down. Take a little break.
Sure.
Now lean back, pull your stomach in, and lift your knees up again. And then straighten your legs up. But hold on. So there is your teaser that people can do in bed. You can do this with a broken leg, with a bad ankle, with a bad hip. And now take your hands off, and there's your full teaser. But you can't give it to people that way all the way. So you have to practice it 30 seconds, 20 seconds.
Yeah, sure. So, just the holding positions. Yep.
And this is an exercise with bent knees. We give it to everybody, holding the balance, repeating it 3 times, so that their abdominals get stronger. You never want to give somebody something they can't do. You never want to do anybody.
Right. And even in my classes, sometimes I've said to people who are just getting into this, maybe not used to it, even just, you know, lifting up one leg at a time and bringing it back down, but keeping the core switched on to build it up. So you can always break it down for people too.
Okay, face sideways again. We're going to do a few more.
Great.
Because not everybody can do the roll down, and we won't be able to see the mat anyway. We're going to go like as if you're on the reformer. I want you to roll back and forth 3 times. Just roll back to your arms are straight, and then curl up. Do 3 of those. Just keep your knees bent. No, knees bent and come up. We're giving it to people who've never done it before.
Okay.
Go around and come back up. I want you to hold on behind your knees. Because people who are overweight, who've had a baby or back problems, they can't do it. Just one more time. So don't straighten when you come up. Stay curled. So people can do that. Then they can roll back, stop, roll back. Lift your right arm up all the way up by your ear and lower it. Pull your stomach in, lift your left arm up and lower it. Pull your stomach in, lift both arms up and lower it, and then curl up. So I'm starting by just going into the gut rather than starting from a flat position.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So I don't know if you lie all the way down, if we see you now. Let me see, lie all the way down. I don't see you now.
Let's try and move this back a little bit, I think.
I think you have to maybe lower the camera down an inch.
Yeah, let's try that. There we go. Full view.
Back.
Look at that.
Okay, I want your left leg straight on the floor, and raise your right leg straight up, and hold it behind the thigh and stretch it towards you. As you stretch your right leg toward you, stretch your left leg away from you. Good, I can actually see it all the way from California. That looks good.
Wow, that's cool.
Okay. And if somebody, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, even a basic hamstring stretch like this, a lot of the time people are lifting up off the leg that's on the ground rather than reaching away, so that's a really important part of this as well.
There's always a two-way stretch in Pilates. In Pilates, the abdominal scoops and the extremities lengthen. Now bring your arms down by your side. Pull your abs in. You're going to make a circle to the left. You're going to go from your shoulder, go to your shoulder, down to your ankle, to your shoulder, and stop in front of your belly button. Go shoulder, ankle, shoulder, stop in front of your belly button. Again, circle around. Keep stretching the left thigh. Keep squeezing the left butt. Keep squeezing the abs. Do one more. And reverse. This is one of the most important exercises. Go straight down, cross over, and stop. Make a real clean stop. By the way, nice range of motion. Your arms.
I've been practicing just video shoot, Siri.
One more time.
I've got to impress my Pilates. I'm a teacher, but you're the master. Come on.
Switch legs. And then switch legs. Bring your left leg up. Stretch it first. Stretch it first. Stop, stop. Stop. Stretch it first. Stretch your right leg away from you. Lengthen through your right thigh. So you're anchored in that right heel, right butt, right ab. So if you were standing making a circle, that right leg would be really strong underneath you. Everybody can do these exercises. If they have a bad back, they just bend the leg on the floor. But there's nothing more important. The single leg circles, inner thigh, outer thigh, lower ab. So cross over right shoulder to your shoulder, ankle, shoulder, nose.
It's just a little bit echoey at the moment.
Don't let the right leg pop. Stretch through the right thigh, squeeze the right butt, pull in the right ab, and don't go too far to the outside. You're going to your shoulder, your ankle, your shoulder, and your nose. One more time. And reverse it. Go straight down. It's more like the letter D.
That's right.
Don't go to the outside. Go straight down, cross over, and stop. One of the things that makes Pilates very effective is working the exact range of motion. If you go too wide, you're just going into loose hips.
Exactly.
If you work within your, you call your frame, your box, then you're going to target the width of that outer thigh muscle.
That's right. Cool. Okay. What's next?
Next would be sit up. I'm giving exercises that any person out of shape can do.
Sure.
Sit up. Sit up. Bend your knees and hold onto your ankles on the inside of your body for the open leg rocker. Pull your stomach in. Let's go slow first. Stretch your right leg out and bend it. Don't touch the mat. Bend it. Stretch your left leg out. Pull your abs in as you stretch and bend it. Pull your stomach in and stretch both legs out. And hold it and bend your knees. Pull your stomach in and stretch both legs out. As you stretch your legs, pull your stomach in. Straighten them again and bend them. And then straighten them up and close them till they're straight.
At the top here?
Yeah, close the legs, then open them, and then bend them. And one more time, straighten them, close them, open them, and bend them. So anybody who's overweight or no abs can just do that. It works their abs. We could take it into the full rocker next. Open your legs, not too wide. Pull your belly in, tuck your chin, roll back to your shoulders, roll back. Come up and balance. Ah, ah, ah. Don't go too wide. Roll back.
I haven't done this one in a while.
Roll back. Come up and balance.
Got it.
One more time. Roll back.
I hope these all of our viewers are doing this with me, not just laughing.
And balance. Now stay there, stay there, stay there. Stay there. Hold the position. So if you're teaching a class, it's a multi-level class, the people with no abs or back problems can just hold this while everybody else rolls, and they should hold the position. Now bring your legs together and lower your trunk down to the mat. All the way down to your back is flat now on the floor.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, bring your legs straight up, 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 keep them up. Okay, you're going to make a small circle, both legs. Go down on the right hip, corkscrew, small corkscrew. Down on the right hip, up on the left hip, and stop clean in the middle. Then reverse it. Go on the left hip. Use the weight of your legs. Just use them as a weight and stop in the middle. Go down on the right hip, pull the abs in, circle around and stop. And one more time, circle around. So these are obliques. Everybody can do them. And then the tick-tock. Just bring both legs to the right. Use your left ab, pull it back and stop. Bring both abs to the left, bring it back and stop. One more time, both legs to the right. Use your left ab to pull it back and go over. Pull it back. Beautiful. And lower your legs and sit up. Open your legs the width of your mat for the saw. Very nicely done. So the control, I don't like using the word core. They've ruined it for me. I like the word trunk. Core is in an apple. I don't like the word neutral. That's in a car between, reverse and drive. I like the trunk.
So just on that then, in terms of neutral, because what I've been taught is that you have a bit of space under your lower back instead of flattening it. What's your take on that? Is that neutral, or should we not be too concerned?
Well, I believe that, first of all, we're talking language. You're trying to communicate to somebody that you want them to make a change. And you're saying, I want you to go into neutral. And they don't even know what neutral is. Neutral is not a Pilates word. It's not a German word. It's not a word Joe Pilates used. It's a word that the physiotherapists put into their language. Everybody's back is different. Those were not the cues he used. He cued the bones and the muscles. So the reason why he's saying a flat back is because only if your back is flat are you sure you're using your abdominals. So
Sure.
So that is that. Open your legs and bring your arms out for the saw. So here it's not dance. So bring your arms out. I want you to think of palms are down. For now, just bring your palms down and lift up off your back. Think of that Da Vinci model. Every exercise is the two-way stretch. The abdominals scoop and the extremities lengthen away from the abs. Twist as far as you can to the right. And your baby pinky reaches for your baby toe. Drop your head. Now think of your ear going on your knee. And exhale 1, exhale 2, exhale 3. Beautiful, Vanessa. Pull your stomach in and come back up. Squeeze your butt, sit real tall. Lift up out of the hips. Twist, don't let the feet move. Very nice. Pull your stomach in and exhale 3 times. 1, 2, think of the ear on your knee. Beautiful. Pull your stomach in and come up. One more time. Lift. Twist as far as you can first. Hey, twist first and then rotate. So you get that twist. Think of the ear on the knee. You have the flexibility. You should be able to work towards that. Beautiful. And come up, pulling the stomach into the back. Keep your fingers together. Keep your thumb with your fingers. You're twisting a little bit wrong in your arms. So think of it more like an airplane glider. When you twist, don't let the arm change.
Sure.
Just twist like an airplane. Now pull your stomach in and then reach past the toe as the back arm reaches away from you. Again, that 2-way stretch. Beautiful. And come in and come up. See how very exact it is?
Yeah.
One of the reasons why we do low repetitions is because each one is supposed to be done with that kind of quality of motion.
Yeah.
That's not to be said, you know, when you have an individual body in front of you, if you sometimes have to give someone more repetitions because maybe they have a bad knee, so you have to give them more back, or they have more bad back, so you have to give them more legs.
Yeah.
Right.
What about a little side stretch to finish? Because everyone's getting a little stiff around here these days from, you know, too much slouching. So how can we stretch here?
Sit on your hip and bring both of your knees bent like on your side. Yeah, and just bring your right arm straight up. And really lengthen the arm underneath the armpit. And then grabbing your ankle, pull yourself over to the side, bending that left arm. Look down at your left hand. And now just fold that right arm over your head and let the weight of the arm stretch you down. Bend your arm, bend your elbow. Let the hand fold. Look down at your elbow more. Your left, turn your head more. Turn your head more. There you go. Yeah, just take that stretch. And then come up and do the other side. One of the beautiful things about the apparatus, raise your one arm, opposite arm up. Stretch first. No, take the stretch first. Come back, love. Come back center. You're looking like a ballerina. I don't want that. Lengthen the arms. Stretch under the armpits. Get some length in the muscle. Then turn your head in profile and stretch down. Let the weight of the arm stretch you down. Fold the top arm and use that weight to pull you down. One of the things about the apparatus, all its different inventions, maybe which about 7 or 8 we still use today, is when you do the exercise on the apparatus. Like I'm sitting right now on popularly what's known as a Cadillac. He didn't call it Cadillac. But when you use the apparatus to take a stretch, it puts you in traction and extension because you have something you're pulling against. And so it tractions you out as it extends you, which hydrates the joints. Once you have that experience on the equipment, then you can find where in your home or your job, or you could be a horseback rider and use all the corral pipes to take that stretch. So the equipment represents the exercises that then some of them you can do someplace else if you get on the equipment.
Awesome. Well, I'm feeling pretty good even after just 4 exercises, and I do this all the time, but I'm normally teaching, so it's great to have someone else teach me something for once.
It's good to have an eye. Another eye.
It is. We all, and that's, oh gosh, you know, we're always working out a technique. It takes years and years to build. So, you know, for people who are just wanting to start out their Pilates journey, just stick with it. And, you know, either if it's with me or another instructor or Siri or whoever, it's about just listening to your body and using the cues and breaking things down where you need to, and you will get stronger and you will build on the technique.
I think it's good to have a goal. And it's good to think, like, what are 5 things I can do that are really going to help me? So we did the wall stretch. That's for your posture. It stretches your backs and your legs, and it supports you when you come up in case you can't do the roll-up on the floor.
Yeah.
We did holding our legs up. Anything bringing the trunk and the legs together works your abdominal muscles and makes that stronger. So if we can find, and the single leg circle, inner thigh, outer thigh, lower abs. So if we can take from each class, when we're children, we go to school and they give us homework. So if we can go to a class or a teacher or your podcasts and take some homework from that, and then do that and add that habit into our day, then we will have really gained something.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been amazing, and I'm really looking forward to catching up with you again. And you know, for the viewers out there, let us know what you would like next. Maybe a different style of workout, or a particular muscle focus, or even some more information to help you with a healthy and body and mind.
Do something like, for instance, just sitting in a normal chair or your bed. So things you can do at home when you don't have the money or the equipment or the weather to go to a studio, I think are very helpful for people.
Absolutely, I agree. I think the chair's the next one. I had a few ideas on that, so I might run those past you next time. I think that'd be a great video to do. So thank you so much, and we'll be speaking to you again soon, Siri.
Good day.
Bye.